Natalie Sterling's joining me from Palm Beach, Florida, affiliated with Sotheby's International Realty. Is that correct, Natalie?
That's correct. Hi, how are you? So honored to be here.
Hey,
Thank you.
oh, great to have you on. I'm doing great. Thank you, and appreciate you joining the podcast.
Of course.
Natalie, I always like to start these conversations off with a little bit about the guest and how they wound up in this crazy business we call real estate. It's usually not our first choice. Sometimes it is. You might surprise me.
Yeah, most times don't.
Most times not. What
Yeah.
what inspired your career in as a real estate broker?
So, my story was one of those where real estate came second or third on the list. My background is in engineering and architecture. I am originally from Cuba. That's my accent. I went for architecture, then went to Spain and graduated in building engineering. They moved to the United States. So I worked several years for engineers and architects and didn't know much about real estate at all. But then later on, as I started learning more, and I think the first thing that caught my attention was first, most of the wealth in this country is being done with real estate. And also the flexibility that you have as a real estate agent or in the real estate world, or more so as an independent contractor, which that's what first took me into real estate. So I created my own company, and I was doing consulting jobs for engineers and architects, and that was my first taste of having my own schedule, not having to be in an office from 9 to 5, and then I started taking conferences and learning about real estate, and I said, this is what I want to explore. And why first originally was it seemed a good fit for me since I was already designing beautiful homes in Palm Beach, but I was designing the structural in the structural side of the things and architecture, and it seemed a nice transition for me. And as I now that I've been in real estate since 2017, there is a lot more that I love, and is the client relationship, networking, aside having a project, having a home, bringing it to life. There are many things that I do love about real estate.
I love that you were holding up finger quotes when you said
Flexible.
flexible. Yeah, flexible schedule, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
So 2017, you've been practicing real estate since then. Have you been in Palm Beach the entire time?
Yes. When I got my license in 2017, I was working for, first I had it with a broker in Royal Palm Beach area, but then I had the opportunity to meet this top producer in Palm Beach, which he is a top broker, and I was able to work for his company. So that was actually my first exposure to go full time into real estate, and I quit my full-time job and everything I have going on, and I went full on this job. And I took it took me it was a great experience. It was about 2 years, but I learned so much. And that was in Palm Beach Island. The brokerage was in Palm Beach Island. So it was a great exposure. And I was part of negotiations, contracts, marketing, all the things that we do in real estate behind the scenes, being part of meetings, calls with these, amazing top producers. And there was it was a university for me. That was my entry to Palm Beach. Then in 2020, I moved over to Sotheby's as a solo agent. And there as well, we're located in Palm Beach Island, Royal Poinciana Plaza. So the trend continued. And that's was my specialty, really. I learned a lot about the island, about the clients, about the people there. I absolutely loved it. It was a dream to work. I used to live in West Palm Beach, Flagler. That was my world, almost 24/7. Then now I live in North Palm Beach area, which is about 20 minutes north of West Palm area. But I still know a lot and do a lot of business there. I now cover from like Palm Beach Island all the way to Jupiter. So I expanded my market and a niche area as well.
an amazing area of the
An
country
amazing area, beautiful.
to practice. Yeah, what an amazing market. Just beautiful. The architecture, the diversity of homes, so much luxury opportunity down there as well in your area. Would looking back at your early part of your career, was that really, would you agree that was really valuable to have to spend a couple of years early on in your career with a mentor, with someone who could guide you?
Absolutely. That was gold, was really
Yeah.
gold. The Palm Beach world is really difficult to break into. And you cannot treat it as any other market. It's a very unique market, very unique people. It's a high net worth clientele where you have to be very careful, you have to be very knowledgeable, you have to be very professional. So that was a huge school for me. Definitely that opportunity was gold, having that mentor for 2 years, but being able to just being also his personal assistant and realtor for the broker was also a different, for a more unique even perspective, because I was hand on hand with a lot of the negotiations and just really learning a lot of the things that otherwise you don't get to learn as quick.
A lot of the behind the scenes
Behind the scenes, yeah.
action, right? Yeah, absolutely, because there's so much that goes on behind the scenes, and I think that that's one of the biggest struggles I think new agents have is not having a clear understanding of some of the rigorous work that goes on behind the scenes. It's not
Oh my
all
gosh, yes.
it's not all what we see on social media, right?
Yeah, it's not just get a client, just sign a
Right,
$40
right.
million home and sold. 15
That's
days.
right.
No.
The Sotheby's office there is I've seen photos on their Instagram account. Of course, it looks like one of the prettiest real estate offices that
Yes.
I've seen. It's such a pretty building. What would you say your kind of? I know you cover a pretty broad range as far as the market goes. Do you have any sort of areas in which you really excel, or that you a niche that you kind of focus a lot of time on?
So I moved to North Palm Beach area in the last year. So I've been knowing the area more, connecting with my neighbors, building community, and specializing in here, but also Jupiter. So I've been getting recently a lot of deals and transactions and business in this area, which I absolutely love. And that's my goal this year, to increase my presence in North Palm area and Jupiter as well. But yeah, definitely moving in the area is a huge part of it, and I'm so much looking forward to that. But I still do a lot of businesses, especially South Palm Beach or Palm Beach condominiums. I do West Palm Beach, and obviously every agent that is trying to break into the ultra luxury market, their dream is to break into the 150 million plus properties in Palm Beach Island, which I will one day. But I'm super blessed and super grateful where I'm at today, which is, in a great look. I'm in the luxury market still, and I am growing and expanding and increasing my presence in this area.
I love it. Yeah, and no doubt you will for sure
Thank you.
break into that category as well.
I mean, Palm Beach Island, and this is probably across the country, of the world, but especially here, 2020, the year 2020 marked a before and after, especially in real estate. Prices tripled after 2020. So, and in Palm Beach Island especially, I remember houses in the north end of the island will sell like beautiful homes in the $2-3 million range. Now those houses are selling 10, 15, 18 million dollars. So prices went crazy. And obviously now we're reaching the 200 plus million dollar properties there.
Yeah, I saw. Well, there's been a couple times over the last couple of years where I've some listings in the $150 million range have popped up, and some record-setting transactions there. It's just amazing. It's definitely a different world, different mindset, I'm sure, than what most of, what we're used to in most markets. What would you say have been the main ways that you've been able to develop your business? We all know that there are like 1,000 different ways to market your real estate business. Have you focused mostly, some agents focus mainly on their sphere, their
Yeah.
repeat and referral clients, which is super, super important. And others are really strong at like lead generation and
Yeah.
bringing in new business. What are some ways that you've found success in growing your business?
To me, it's been organically. So yes, I do target always my sphere, but I always try to meet new people. And also organically, as you do more transactions and you do a good job, that is going to continue to increase and you get more referrals from clients. I think that's one way. In addition to, I don't do a lot of lead generation currently. I have tried, but what has really worked well for me is very customized interaction with clients or potential sellers, especially if I'm trying to target listings. Direct mail, it's one of the ways that I use to obviously increase my presence in the neighborhood and target prospects or future listings. That one, and also handwritten notes. Like by hand, I put these together, these notes for specific clients or sellers. And when they see you took the time and the care to do something like that, they most likely will open. That's a huge part, that they open the envelope first, and then they see your information. You're not. I mean, we're competing. We're so many agents out there. So it's
Sure.
really hard to obviously stand up among the multitude and all the different agents in the area. But if you do a great job, I think the best way is to grow your business organically by doing the transaction and getting referrals. Also have a great relationship with other agents and network with other agents, because especially now we've been seeing it for a few years now, especially after COVID, the influx of people from other states, New York, California. So any relationships that you have with agents that have clients looking to buy here, it's a great opportunity to capture more business. But I will say my main ways to do it, I do social media too. I think social media is something that I have been doing in the last 2 years more so. Leaving my first experience in Palm Beach with this broker. I mean, he's an extremely successful broker, but he didn't believe much in social media. And I do believe because he built his business 40, 50 years ago, it wasn't really a necessity. But now we are in a different world. So leveraging on my social media, I think, is very important. And I've been learning how to manage that. I treat my Instagram as my website, my portfolio. I treat it very professional, and I put a lot of time and effort to make it look that way. And I think that's very important. And people will find you, will see what you do, how you do, you carry yourself, and they will connect or not with you. But that's a way, that's one of the ways that definitely has worked for myself.
Yeah, I agree that the curating an appealing and attractive and professional Instagram aesthetic, right? That the way that the grid looks and the way
Yes.
that you're posting high quality images and thoughtful captions, informative and so forth is super important. You do an amazing job at that. Your Instagram feed
Thank you.
is excellent. One of my I follow it, of course, and enjoy it very much. Sotheby's, I've had other amazing Sotheby's agents on this podcast over the last almost 2 years since I've launched this podcast, and I always learned something from a Sotheby's agent. Your brand is exceptional, obviously. Sotheby's seems to attract really top-notch professional agents. And one thing that I've noticed among Sotheby's agents that is pretty common, and you mentioned, you kind of alluded to it here a second ago, and that was networking.
Yes.
Not only with other professionals and business owners, but with agents as well. And I've known that Sotheby's agents that I've spoken with over the last couple of years that that seems to be very very much a commonality among Sotheby's agents to really connect with other Sotheby's agents in other markets pretty consistently, and also locally.
Yes.
Is that something you do as well?
Yes, I definitely try to do so more lately, more so lately, and having a great collaboration relationship type with other agents is key. Not only to potentially work together on any referral opportunities, but also with negotiations. And when, on either side, if you're on the buyer or seller side. So it's very important to have a good relationship with other agents. So that I think I've been working more towards the last year to increase my network, not only of potential clients, but also other agents. You really learned a lot from other agents, and when you collaborate in that way, we all grow together. And you really never know where the next lead is going to come from. You never know. So it's good to do that, in addition to obviously network and try to meet new people, introduce yourself, let your sphere know that you do real estate, and you will be honored to help them, and be humble about it, and just also no expectations, just show with actions more than words, and it's gonna happen.
I love that. I agree too, 100% with that. I think lead with value. Don't reach out or connect with expectations of anything in return, and just let the relationship start with a good step. Yeah, I think that's super important. I love that. And did you mention also, do you network or socialize or collaborate with agents from competitive brokerages there locally as well? Do you mingle as well that way?
Well, yes, there are some events that we go together, either for like a real estate conference, common interest that you happen to meet other agents there. So yeah, I do that, and you get some knowledge. You get to meet other agents, network. People get to know you. You can tell them about your listings, your things like that. I do that, and I think it's very important. And also Sotheby's, and I think every brokerage probably has these. They do networking events every year for the agents within the brokerage. So that's also a great way, because Sotheby's, we are an international company, but especially in the US, we are everywhere. So going to these networking events is an opportunity to get to know other top producers in the country, whether it's Connecticut, Michigan, California, New York, and that gives you an opportunity as well to just get in front of them, get to know them, and exchange phone numbers, follow in social media, and build a relationship. Yeah.
Yeah, that's something else that I know Sotheby's is well known for, are the nationwide events that they host, in places like Nashville and
Yes.
sometimes, out west or east, but it's usually I would say probably in a central location. I think there was one recently. I think the one in 2025 was in Nashville, if I'm not mistaken, or maybe 24. I can't remember.
Yeah, I haven't made it to the big ones that they do yet, but I went last year. Yeah, we're in 2026 now. To one of the ones they did in New York was a cruise event, and I went actually with a colleague from my office, and we had a great time. We went for a couple of days. We went to look at some of the projects, new construction projects that Sotheby's is representing there, and then we end up at the event. At the cruise and on the cruise, and was a great experience. I got to meet a lot of other agents. We exchanged phone numbers, emails, and that's a great way to be able to put yourself out there.
Absolutely. Yeah. That's very cool. I love that Sotheby's does that. I know that other brokerages as well, other brands are known for similar concepts as well. Not to take anything away from them, but I do love a company that does that. That's very cool. What would you say? You know, so you've been in the business now almost 10 years. What would you say are some, and it's funny, social media, we mentioned earlier about some of the misconceptions that folks can have about the real estate career and how appealing it certainly looks if you were to just judge it by what we see in the media and social media and TV and all that stuff. So, and it is a super rewarding career, and I think one of the best parts of it is that the sky is really the limit. Like there's you
Yes,
can
that's what I love
there's
too.
no limit really to what you can achieve. But what would you say are some of the most common, or at least a common misconception, biggest misconception you think that new agents have coming into the business?
I think that you can really make it to the top really quick, and it's an easy career because for a lot of people it's a second choice or third choice, and they come into real estate for several different reasons. They have a different background, and that will serve them differently in each case. But it takes time to build a career in real estate, and depending what your goals are. I'm specializing in the luxury market, but regardless of that, to build a pipeline of business where you're getting transactions very often every month. You're not having a few months where you're not making any income. It takes time. And it's usually 10 years. You're building, 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 and then you start receiving and receiving. But it could be very frustrating at times because you get impatient. You want to see results sooner, and you don't know when the next deal is going to come from or when, and you're just waiting. And it could be a little frustrating at times and discouraging. But I will say, just be consistent, persistent, and just keep doing what works, keep showing up, and it will happen. I've seen it, and I'm a person that I'm very career driven, and I have my goals and I have my vision, and also sometimes a little impatient, I will say. So going into real estate, I keep hearing this from many other agents that are doing amazing, and it took them 10 years to start where they are. And in the last 2 years for me, I've seen how my career is taken to the next level and that momentum, and I'm getting more transactions and more calls and more clients, happy clients, and more referrals. But it's taking me this long to get here. And obviously, I think something that has helped is partner with other agents in your office. If you're a new agent, to learn from them. They may need top producers. They will need help if they want to scale their business. So just by helping them and using them as a mentor, and they're using, help, also needing your help, working as a team, that could be also very beneficial initially.
So I had one of my favorite, a close friend of mine here locally, Mike Feely, who was on the podcast about a year and a half ago. He's a broker with the Christie's. He's affiliated with Christie's, which is a very similar luxury brand, I think, to Sotheby's. Although I'm sure that Sotheby's wouldn't agree. But anyway, we won't go there. Mike mentioned during our conversation, he's been practicing real estate for about 21 years now, and he said that he mentioned that 10-year mark as well that you just mentioned. He said, honestly, for the majority of real estate agents who want to work in the luxury space,
Yes.
that it takes about 10 years to build that runway
Yes.
for that business to take off.
Yeah.
And that's where he found that's when things began to pivot for him, was right at about that 10-year mark, and
Yeah.
all that work. It's a long game,
It's
which I
a
think
long
is,
game, and you're
yeah,
building trust among the community. And so why people will choose you instead of the top producers in the area, and just building that trust. It's huge, and it takes time. It takes time.
absolutely. I think, any business, I think, where there's high trust, relationship driven, uh, business is that sort of industry is going to take a lot of time. So, financial wealth management, financial advising,
Yes.
real estate agent, the list goes on. Insurance, even to a lot of to a big extent, lawyers, you name it. So, I think that I think that these high ticket, high trust type industries is just, it takes time, really to develop those relationships and that trust and build that brand. So yeah, I would agree. I think that that's probably, especially coming out of the pandemic years here of recent, that where an agent could have come in brand new in 2021 and just answered the phone and sold, and got a listing or sold a home. So it was sort of like shooting fish in a barrel for a little while, but that's just
Oh
not
my gosh.
reality, right?
That was the real, and that was the time when I joined Sotheby's in 2020. It was in the middle of COVID. So it was
Wild time.
for many agents, right before I moved into Sotheby's, everything went exploded and no one ever saw that coming. And prices went crazy, buyers, everybody wanted to be here. And for newer agents like myself, that was really my first shot on my own, just building the business on my own, my brand, getting the business on my own, not getting fed by brokers or listings. I really had to just do it. And it was hard at that time. There were no agents in my office. You could not talk to many people. Most people were working from home. Networking events, no, that did not exist at that time.
That's right.
And it was a tough time, but it teaches us to do other things and to see things from a different perspective and learn from that for sure.
Looking back, I want to ask you one quick question, and I don't think I didn't prepare you for this question, so
Okay.
forgive me, and I'm going to cut you a lot of slack here too. Don't no pressure at all. But looking back at your early time as a real estate agent, obviously the benefit of connecting with an amazing mentor and professional was super beneficial for launching your real estate career. But looking back, is there anything that you would have, that you wish you knew then that you know now?
So I think if I would have leveraged my sphere more, I will say a little shy at first about telling people, oh, here I am a real estate agent now. You know me as an engineer, but now I'm doing real estate and I'm selling houses. So I kept it more private than I should have. I should have just been more out there, telling people, being more social, and just building more of the community. And the power of that is huge. And collaboration. That's the two things, community and collaboration, that I wish I should have learned earlier on. Yeah.
Yeah, well said. Great point. I appreciate that. I think that those are the kinds of things that the little nuggets that I take from these conversations that benefit me so much, and hopefully listeners as well get a lot of value from that as well. So that's great. Great advice. Natalie, I want you to shoot me an email or text me when you get a listing on Manalapan.
Oh my gosh.
I want to know all
will.
about it.
You see, I am a big manifester. This is something that I can't say enough about this. I don't know how I was born this way, but I always manifest in my life. But the key thing is just believe in yourself, believe it will happen, and enjoy the process, and just keep doing what you're doing and enjoy the process. But just put it out there and believe in yourself. So one day I will send you that email.
I'm counting on it. I know you will. I know you will too.
More so, I will invite you. I want to show you the property.
I'll be there. I will
Perfect.
be there for that. Yeah,
Where
absolutely.
are you located, Jeff?
I'm in Charlotte, North Carolina.
Oh, in Charlotte. Okay.
Yeah. So
Awesome.
I'm not too far. Yeah, I'll bring
You're
the
not too
GoPro
far
and
at all.
the drone. We'll shoot a video at the
Oh
listing.
my gosh, I love that. I love that.
That was great. Thank you so much, Natalie. Really appreciate it. That'll probably be a reel too, because that was really special. I really appreciate you sharing that. That was great.
Thank you.
Before I let you go, how can listeners who want to connect with a realtor in your area, how can listeners learn more about you, and what's the best way to connect?
So the best way to connect on Instagram, my profile is public, so you can find me there at Natalie Sterling Real Estate. That is the same handle for my website, nataliesterlingrealestate.com. And my phone number is on Instagram. It is on my website. So I'm also on Zillow, Realtor.com. We realtors, we can have a private life. We are everywhere.
That's
So
right.
if you want to find me, you will. And I cover Palm Beach Island, Palm Beach area, county, but especially even Lantana, Manalapan area, all the way to Jupiter.
Perfect.
So
I'll have that information, of course, in the description for this episode. And we'll tag you on Instagram, of course, when I release it too. Yeah, I got a call this morning from a marketing manager for a builder who's headquartered in New Jersey, but they're building a cool development down here on Lake Norman, just outside of Charlotte. And
nice.
she said that the broker that I'm collaborating with in the development, their salesperson was out sick, and this marketing manager didn't have my number. So she said, yeah, so I just Googled you to get your number. I was like, yep, that's all in
I
real estate, to find
I
your realtor,
know.
that's all you have to do.
That's all you have to do. And I've been getting more calls from people and say, where do you find my number? I mean, not like it's private, but I always
Sure.
ask to see what's working or not. And they say
Yeah.
Instagram, like, oh, great. Finally,
There you go.
that's working. My effort posting 3 times a week, it's working.
Well, again,
But
there you go.
maybe I
Like
should
long
post
game,
every
right?
day, but 3 times a week is my goal for now.
Absolutely. Yeah, I love that. And speaking of long games like that, it takes time
Yeah,
to develop that too, right?
exactly.
Yeah, it doesn't happen
Consistency.
overnight. Natalie, this has been amazing. Thank you again so much for joining the podcast. And I would love to follow up with you and definitely keep me posted on your next big listing there. All right.
Yes, I definitely will. Thank you so much. This was great.